Good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to call to order today the Thursday, June 6, 2024 Watertown Board of Adjustment. Brandy, can you help with the roll call?
Yes. Spire.
Here.
Oletsky. Here. Dolly.
Here.
Hanson.
Here.
Dargis Johnson.
Here.
Brink.
Here.
And Kays, Ford, and oh my gosh, and Culhane are absent. We have a quorum. We need to get those other nameplates out there going forward. I'm sick of that.
Makes it a little easier.
Yeah.
So we have 6 members today. There's a variance on the agenda. We'll need 5 yeses in order for that to proceed forward.
Yes, and so then we do have 6 board members here, 5 is our quorum, but because we have the total board is 7 members, so that's where the 5 in the affirmative is required.
Thank you for that confirmation, Brandy. We've done the call to order and the roll call. We need the approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on the agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda is approved. Move on to item 4 is the approval of the minutes from the May 23rd, 2024 meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on those minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. Moving on to item 5A on the regular agenda, which is the variance request. Brandy, I'll have you take us through that.
Yes, thank you, Blake. So this is a request for an accessory structure greater than 200 square feet located at 616 Skyline Drive. This is within the R1 Single Family Residential District. And I'll pull up the vicinity map here to show that there is an existing shed that is less than the 100 square feet or the 120 square feet that would requires the lesser setback of 4 feet. However, or it's 100 square feet. That is the 4-foot side yard setback. So the proposal is to enlarge the shed here from the 10 by 120. Sorry, it is 120 square feet existing. And that I did not find record of, but the applicant, and there could have been a different process at that time, received a variance when it was placed, but it was a matter of getting sign off from the neighbor to the north, and that was under different ownership. Like I said, I was not able to find history of that. However, it's existed there for 35 years. So now wanting to enlarge it along within the same vicinity, but with it being 24 feet and 12 feet in width. So the other thing here too is that, I mean, he will still be meeting the setback for the alley requirement there. And because the garage doors will enter to the south. Another thing to note, let me find this here. So there is a 9-foot side yard setback, and so the replacement shed is 288 square feet. So then that is where the 9-foot side yard setback comes in for anything greater than 200 square feet. The applicant is requesting that there be a 1-foot setback in place of where the existing shed is today. And with that, I'll stand by for any questions.
And Brandy, you mentioned the parallel to the alley thing. Could you just remind everyone here the difference between parallel and perpendicular in terms of setback?
Yeah, so when garage doors are opening parallel to an alley, and this is a provision specifically in ordinance for accessory structures, if the garage door is open parallel, then there can be a 9-foot setback from the alley. And if it is opening perpendicular, so you're gonna have vehicles going in and out perpendicular to the alley, then you need to be set back 20 feet.
And so this would meet that setback. It's just along the northern side yard setback that the variance is requested.
Yep. And here too, these are some pictures of, neighboring properties, and then where it exists today and how it is in that rear yard. But this is a variance to the side yard setback.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Brandy, I'm sorry, on the illustration we were given there of the new structure, I can see it's 12 by 24, but I can't make out the size of the garage door. I mean, realistically, it's not deep enough to park a vehicle in it. I mean, maybe a mower, but there won't be a vehicle excess.
No, and the applicant is here as well, but no, it's for a lawnmower.
And we do have a public hearing on this, so I'd like to open the public hearing at this time. If the applicant is here, go ahead and come forward.
Maybe.
And just state your name first for the record.
Yeah. Gary Veter's my name. Lived here all my life. I think you all know me probably. I'm not sure.
Thank you, Mr. Veeder. Mr. Hanson, would you like to clarify your question with the
Sure,
applicant?
so Gary, on the illustration given of the size of the shed, I understand that the dimensions are 12 by 24, but I can't make out the size of the garage doors.
They're gonna be just a little bit bigger. I have some pictures here you could pass around if you want them. The doors, I think, are like 5 by 5 right now.
Do we have the overhead camera?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you
Give her
guys want
signal.
these pictures to pass around? They're
Brandy can show you where to put them on the table, and we should be able to.
In this
Okay.
The green.
They got some fancy stuff here, so we can all see them.
Yeah, we'll get them
Yeah,
zoomed
okay.
in there.
Yeah, they'll be a little
There we
bit,
go.
maybe be a foot bigger, because when my brother passed away, Mike did all the mowing, so I didn't really want to use his mower, so Jamie, I set it up and sold her mower, and I bought a new mower, and Mike always had his mower next door, because he lives right next door to me. You'll see in these pictures. So I have my mower, it's a big mower in my garage, which they don't smell very good, but anyway, I'll be able to put my mower, if this is approved, in that new shed, which is what I wanna do. And we need more space right there, and, I guess any other questions? I'm not sure on the door, Jason, but it would be probably a foot, maybe a little bit taller, cause I don't know, first I told Steve I wanted a taller sidewall, but he said, no, that would look stupid. Steve Bachman, so it's gonna have a 9-foot sidewall.
I mean, we're saying garage door, but it wouldn't be big enough to
No,
access.
no car go in there. It's gonna be one of them roll-up type doors.
Correct.
Because when you're in there, you don't wanna see the tracks and have to run into them. Cause, I got smokers in there and grills in there and lawn stuff in there, and we just don't have enough room to try to keep it nice. Especially with this mower, it's a zero turn, it's a big mower, and, that's the reasoning for wanting to do this.
Gary, so the peak of the new structure, how much taller is it going to be than the existing structure?
I'm not a carpenter, but, the shed now goes up and then it goes down in the back, so you get crunched down towards the back. So it'll be more like a house. It'll be more like a,
So you can see his pitch here
You
on
said a
those.
9-foot
Yeah.
sidewall, so it's going to be
yeah, it'd be more like this here,
okay, shallow. So it
It'll,
with 2 doors and a window in the middle.
looks
It'll
like a
look
3, 4, 5, basically. So standard pitch.
Yeah,
It'll be taller than the existing one.
yes, it will.
so if you look at, the garage, that's most likely a 9-foot sidewall. And even on some of these pictures here oh,
Because the which kind of defines the pitch on those structures.
Yeah.
but then it's only going to be 12 foot in width, so you're not gonna have that pitch, but it'll probably be a 412 standard. And you can kind of see that on the image here. Obviously, it's
Like
gonna
that.
match his house
Pretty much
as
match, yeah.
accessory structures are required to.
I
It
think
won't be blue, I don't think.
No, it'll be brown. And I just painted it, was real cute, and put shingles on it.
Other questions for the applicant?
Gary, I have a question for you. Could this be put on the other side of your driveway and then it would meet our setbacks? Currently, the current setback for your building is 4 feet, but when you go to a bigger one, it'll go up to 9 feet, so it's an even larger variance, but could it be put on the other side?
If you look at this picture, if you put that up there for them,
Which do you want?
it's not the best backyard in the world, but it's, we think a lot of it. And I have 7 grandkids, and if I put a shed right there, you know, we do a lot of functions back there, and I wouldn't be able to keep track of and Pat wouldn't be able to keep track of the little kids and stuff, people going up and down the alley. It's just the perfect spot for it. I think, you know, where the setback is good on the alley, it's just, you know, it's just basically adding on to that shed where if I put it in the middle of my backyard, as far as I'm concerned, I ruin my backyard. That's just my opinion. And if I have to put it there, you know, I probably wouldn't do this. I really want it on the side that it's been on for 35 years. Because of the grandkids, you know how they run around. They're anywhere from 2 to 11, and then you put a shed in there and you can't see the alley, you can't see the cars, I can see my backyard now when I'm in the backyard, put it that way. And I think that's important for little kids, to be able
Sure.
to see them.
Gary, do you know that the overhang is gonna be on the eave?
There'll be an overhang on it.
Exactly, so is that typically an overhang is what, 18, 12?
No, it wouldn't be that big. And I don't have to have an overhang on the back. I can have it smaller. I think this property right now is like 1 foot off the lot line. So I wouldn't encroach on his, I don't believe in the back of this shed right now, there even is an overhang in the back, but the sides do have maybe a 6-inch overhang. I think just in the front, it's got like a 6-inch overhang to the south. I would want that on the new one.
Are you going to have gutters on the new structure?
I wasn't planning on it.
A lot of times when we're looking at structures in terms of water flow, we look at gutters and ensuring that the water does drain on your own property and
It's not a
across
problem to
onto a
put,
neighboring
it's not a
property.
problem to put them on.
I confirmed with the building official, and so he would, when it's within 2 feet of a property line, then he would be required to only do a 4-inch overhang.
Okay.
And that's, you know, for the structure and integrity of the structure itself. And then a typical, I mean, they can range, but I think for a typical overhang, it's 8 to 12 or 12 to 16
We wouldn't do
within
that,
that,
yeah.
the size of the building, so. But no, he could only do a 4-inch.
That'd be fine.
And Brandy, in terms of the gutters, you know, we've had this conversation with other applicants in the past in terms of water and runoff specifically, and whether gutters need to be required and how to direct the gutters. Is that part of design language that the city manages during the building permit time?
Yeah, we would make sure that his drainage was taking place on his property or was being collected on his property. But like we've seen in the past too, if the board would want to make conditions for very specific things to be done, but we would make sure, you know, that if there was, with such a small setback, he would have to make sure that that drainage was routed towards his property. And then there's the challenge too, because there's the hard surfacing, so it might need to be, you know, piped or strategically routed so that it was able to be within his property. And there is quite a bit of side yards still along that property line, because it's a very large, or it's a larger lot.
It runs to the south. It don't run uphill because, you know, like Sean's place is high, and I'll put a gutter on it, but it'll run, you know, to the south.
Yeah.
There's not a problem there. It won't run into the neighbor.
Any other questions for the applicant? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I have the public hearing open. Mr. Dempsey, I see you in the crowd.
We'll hear from
Okay.
anyone else.
You think I should go for it? Oh, okay, okay.
That's good, that's 6 people.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Sean Dempsey, owner, I always come up here, I'm owner of Dempsey's, but today I'm the owner of 620 Skyline Drive. I've been there for about 6 years, and it's a wonderful area. So Gary had told me about this shed that he was proposing to build, and for me, I'm absolutely fine with it. I'll be directly, I mean, it's gonna be kind of, I'll be looking at it every day, so I'm happy it's not bright blue, but I don't see a problem with it from my end of everything. And I just thought I'd come out and just kind of voice support for him to build this shed.
Appreciate that. You are the most impacted neighbor here when we consider the.
It's true.
impacts, so.
I'm gonna throw things at it every now and then, but just don't tell him. Shoot. So that's what I got.
Sounds good. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Public hearing is open if there's anybody else to speak on behalf or against. Anybody online on Teams? Hearing none, we'll close the public hearing.
Brandy, how large is the property?
Seventeen 17,221 square feet approximately.
Thank you. Are you looking for a motion?
We'll need a motion to take action, yes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion from the board?
I'm just gonna state my findings. Normally, on a lot that's this size, it's almost twice our minimum R1. With plenty of yard space, I would be inclined to deny, but having heard from the most affected landowner and hearing that he's currently looking at a similar structure and is okay with looking at a larger structure, I'm inclined to vote yes.
I agree 100%. The only thing is like the 4 inches and the rain gutters and stuff, but
I think the other aspect that we consider historically in situations like this is not exacerbating the setback any further. So since it is sitting on the same footprint and the neighbor doesn't have any objections, I'd vote in favor of it. Other comments from the board before we take a vote? All right, we'll take a roll call vote, please.
All right, Brink,
Yes.
Dargis Johnson,
Yes.
Hanson,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes,
Oletsky,
yes.
Spire.
Yes.
all in favor of that, so that variance passes. Thank you guys for coming down. Item 6 on the agenda is the open public comments. I don't believe we had any signed up to speak on an agenda item or non-agenda item. We'll move on to new business for Board of Adjustment.
None that I have.
Old business for Board of Adjustment.
Nope.
We'll take a motion to adjourn for Board of Adjustment, and then we'll reconvene as planned.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we'll adjourn.